Once upon a time, there was a beautiful monastery on top of a serene hill. There lived a wise and gentle monk. His reputation for imparting profound teachings on inner peace and emotional control was renowned far and wide. One day, a man named Oliver, known throughout the village for his fiery temper, who was always angry and frustrated with his life, went to the monastery to seek peace and wisdom. Oliver greeted the monk and said, "Master, my anger has caused me great pain and suffering. It has damaged my relationships and left me feeling isolated. Please teach me how to overcome it." Monk, with a serene smile, welcomed Oliver and told him to follow him. The monk led Oliver to a nearby river. The river's crystal clear waters sparkled under the warm sun. The water was pure, cool, and refreshing. The monk asked Oliver to fill a bucket with water. Oliver did as he was told and brought the bucket back to the monk. The monk then poured some salt into the bucket and stirred it. He handed the bucket to Oliver and said, "Drink this water." Oliver took a sip and spat it out. "It's bitter and salty," he said. The monk nodded and said, "That's how your anger makes you see the world. Everything seems bitter and unpleasant to you because you have anger in your heart." Oliver asked, "How can I get rid of this anger?" The monk smiled and said, "Follow me again." Monk took Oliver back to the river and asked him to pour the salt water back into the river. Oliver did so and then filled the bucket with fresh water again. The monk asked him to drink it. Oliver took a sip and found it refreshing and sweet. He looked at the monk in surprise and said, "How is this possible? It's the same water." The monk shook his head and said, "No, it's not the same water. It's the same river, but different water. The river is constantly flowing and changing, just like life. You can't hold on to anything, especially your anger. If you will hold on to anything like anger or negative thoughts or negative emotions, then your life will become bitter, just like salty water you tasted." Monk further added, "You should understand, just like a river, our emotions are constantly changing and flowing. We must learn to let go of our anger and negative emotions and allow them to flow away from us and move on with the flow of life. And when you let go of anger and seek inner peace, your heart becomes as pure and refreshing as the clear water from the river. Each time you feel anger rising within you, take a moment to breathe deeply, just as the river flows calmly. Reflect on the situation and ask yourself if your anger will truly solve the problem or make it more bitter and unpleasant. Instead, choose to let go of anger and respond with understanding and kindness." Oliver understood the lesson and thanked the monk for his guidance. He gradually learned to control his anger and see the world in a more positive light. He found that he was more calm and patient with himself and others. He did not get angry over trivial things and he did not hold grudges. He was more compassionate and generous with his family and friends. Over time, Oliver's heart grew lighter and his inner peace blossomed. He discovered that by letting go of anger and negative emotions, he could embrace a life filled with joy, compassion, and serenity. He often remembered the monk's words and the river's lesson. He smiled and said to himself, "Life is like a river, always flowing and changing. I have to flow with it, not against it." Thank you and keep smiling.